Hey guys, Dave and Len here. Today we're reviewing Source of the Nile, but not this version. This is the Avalon Hill version. The old version here, here's the rule book from it, from Discovery Games. So, Len, you've been playing this game for decades, since the late 1970s. Tell us a little about it.
Okay, it's about a game simulating the exploration of interior Africa in the 19th century. The title, one of the big mysteries of interior Africa was, where's the source of the Nile, one of the longest, largest rivers in the world at the time, but no, it seemed to be somewhere in Africa. And one of the goals of that time was to find the source of the Nile. I think it was with Richard Burton and James Speck were there was the expedition that found the southern shore of Lake Victoria, and I think there was a controversy after a while if that was the right source, because remember there's the Blue Nile and the White Nile, and the White Nile is the longest, and there was also other expeditions like Dr. Livingston and other things. Also, Africa was a big unknown continent, and there were many expeditions to just look around. I just saw one in the bookstore about one woman, her husband disappeared in West Africa, so she organized expeditions to look for him and traveled through a lot of the areas. So they were very busy then.
So you've played some games that were large enough where you explored every hex on the board, right?
Yes. This is a great solo game, and one time when I was recovering from a broken ankle, I had nothing to do for the next couple of weeks, so I just, I was slowly filling in the map, so I finished it off. It gets really frustrating when you are going halfway across the map in known territory. You only have there was the great gap in the middle, 5 hexes. But the problem was, when you got there, you found there was a veldt and elephants were stampeding on the veldt and something like that. It's a great game also in tournaments. So.
Yeah, I like it better than Avalon Hill Outdoor Survival. I thought Source of the Nile was much better than that one. I'm not too big a fan of. It was called Outdoor Survival, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that one was all right, but I wasn't that big a fan of it. This one's much better.
Yeah, because this one's more historical. You do have the flavor of organizing expositions, deciding how big or how small it is. Because I've done expeditions where it consists of one guy just carrying some rations and a few gifts, and I was successful. And then I had like humongous expeditions where they'd go out and the elephants stampede on the veldt and there was nothing left. And that's like that was my second exploration hex.
Yeah, in this game I just played, I made it from Khartoum all the way west to one of the cities on the western edge of the map.
Yeah, and I told them it was an epic adventure. 88 points, which is a very high score.
Yeah, well that's because I bribed the natives with gifts, and then they gave us a lot of rations, or gave me a lot of rations that allowed me to continue on. Otherwise, I would have, if that didn't happen, I would have had to turn around early, and I would have gotten much less points. But being nice to the natives worked.
One thing is that with the native reaction, closer you are to the coast, the smaller the tribe is, because it's depopulated by the slave trade. Also, the closer you are to the coast, the more hostile they'll be. And sometimes hostile is they'll just ignore you. Other times, they'll attack. And but the further in, you have larger tribes, but they tend to be friendlier. So.
Yeah, so I recommend the game. You're probably not going to find the old Discovery Game version, but you'll be able to find this version no problem on the used market.
And just to think, Gary Gygax rejected that because there's no combat.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I bet he regrets that.
Well, I don't know. I thought it was I thought it was like a Euro game before there were Euro games. I mean, if you really want to have a war on the continent, you could easily modify it. You know, you have two expeditions going out to kill each other or something, or you're going out to attack one of the towns on the coast. I mean, it'd be easy to modify it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks. We'll have a new review for you next week. Have a good evening.